Today's Congo is one of the most dangerous countries in the world. It is a country with more than 65 million inhabitants that continue to suffer and struggle till today against consequences of colonial exploitation and imperialism. This country is the richest country on earth in terms of mineral resources, but paradoxically is ranked among the poorest countries on earth in terms of living standard. People living in this country, particularly in region like Kivu region, have forgotten what are the glory of life due to never-ending war in that particular area. The differences between the state and the people living in this region is really a call for concern to all the Pan-Africanists. There is very little hope for a better future because of the extent of differences between the Baya-Mulanje communities and the government of this country. Led by President Felix Tshisekedi, there is a never-ending cycle of poverty, corruption, and misery in this land. And many people ask themselves, why is this country so messed up till this extent? Well, if we take a look back in the history of this country, you will come to understand that the current situation in Congo is not just a result of bad governance, but severe foreign influence. And this can be traced back to the death of one great man, Patrice Lumumba, the first Prime Minister of Congo. In this video, we are going to look at the cause of Lumumba's death and the main forces behind his death. Stick around until the end because the last one will shock you. On December 17, 1961, one great man became the leader of Congo. His name is Patrice Lumumba. He was a passionate and a committed leader who vowed to liberate his country from the hands of Colonial York. This man was committed at all costs to free his country from centuries of exploitation and enslavement. But under the scene was an angel of darkness called Mobutu Sese Seko, whose appetite for power was insatiable. He worked with the American CIA agents to eliminate Lumumba. But before we continue, please take some time to subscribe. The main reason why the CIA wanted Lumumba assassinated was because he was a threat to American interests in Congo. After Congo gained independence from Belgium in 1960, Lumumba quickly rose to power and became the country's first prime minister. He was a charismatic and fiery leader who was not afraid to speak his mind. In fact, he was known for his passionate speeches in which he denounced colonialism and imperialism and called for a new order in international relations. Now, this did not sit well with the Americans, who were worried that Lumumba's rhetoric would inspire other African countries to follow suit and throw off the shackles of Western imperialism. They feared that if Lumumba remained in power, he could potentially spark a wider movement across the continent, which would threaten American interests. You see, America had a lot of investments in Congo, both in terms of money and in terms of prestige. They had poured a lot of effort into winning the battle of hearts and minds of the Congolese people, and they did not want all of that to go to waste. So they decided to take matters into their own hands and get rid of Lumumba once and for all. The second reason why the CIA wanted Lumumba dead was because he was a stumbling block to the Cold War strategy. During the Cold War, both America and the Soviet Union were trying to gain influence over Congo, which was seen as a key strategic point in the global struggle between capitalism and communism. The Americans were worried that if Lumumba remained in power, he would align himself with the Soviets, which would be a major blow to their efforts to contain the spread of communism. You see, Lumumba was not really on board with the capitalist system that the Americans were trying to impose on Congo, and he was open to exploring alternative models of development, including those espoused by the Soviet Union. This made him a potential ally for the communists, and the Americans were worried that he could use his position to promote their interests at their expense. To prevent this from happening, the CIA hatched a plan to get rid of Lumumba and install a more pliant leader who would do their bidding. Now, after Lumumba was assassinated, the CIA thought that they had solved all of their problems in Congo. But they were wrong. It's very wrong. You see, the man who replaced Lumumba, Mobutu Sese Seko, ended up wasting Congo's mineral resources and plunging the country into chaos and misery. And to top it all, Congo has never recovered from the instability created by this man called Mobutu Sese Seko. He created division and hatred among his people that may take decades before this land can ever experience what is called peace. But there is another person who played a part in Lumumba's death that you should know about. His name is Moise Tshombe, and he is widely considered to be the worst African to ever step his foot on African soil. We are going to talk about Moise Tshombe in the next episode.